Hey guys, welcome to the VPC. I am Mitch, and today we're doing a podcast. Me and Bros are kind of going over the choices and stuff we made in The Walking Dead Season 2. And it will be kind of quite the re-journey through the timeline that happened, and we're going to kind of go over our choices, go over our thoughts of the character, thoughts of the things that happened. So it should be pretty fun, and hopefully you guys have a fun time reminiscing with us over the events of Season 2, which, by the way, if you did not watch his playthrough, had some differing things that happened, so we're going to go over those as well. All right, let's hop into it.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Bros for Life here, back with another video. Now, as you all know, it's been quite a while since we've done a video, and we're kicking it off with a Walking Dead podcast. We are going to be doing a podcast on The Walking Dead Season 2, going over all our opinions on the characters, all our opinions on just the overall episodes, and going more in depth in our choices. Now, when I say we are, etc., those type of things, we are actually going to be doing it with our good friend, Virtual Party Center.
Holla holla, baby, what's going on? I'm ready to party!
Yes, sir! Alrighty, so we started with Season 1, and okay, let's talk about this first. Overall, how did you feel about the game?
The game entirely, or just Season 1?
Just Season 2.
Season 2 entirely?
2. Yeah.
It's rough. Obviously, if you're watching this right now, you've probably seen Season 1 that we both did, and you know how rough that ended.
Right.
In terms of Season 2 and how it went over, I would probably say it didn't hurt as much, but it definitely had its moments. Like the first...
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
So, okay. When I came into Season 2, I personally thought it was going to be quite a bit repetitive from Season 1. But, they honestly, in my opinion, blew it out of the park. I'm surprised how different the story, builded up and actually, I'm just shocked that it played out a lot differently than I thought it would.
Right, and how they were able to branch off the story the way they did too.
Right, exactly.
And though, if you think about it too, in a weird way, it kind of just takes the first game and repeats the same story, kind of, because
in a way,
you find or someone has to protect Clementine until the end, and then they send them off on a journey on their own. But
right.
It's in a different perspective because now you're playing as Clementine and not the protector role. So it's something else.
Dude, my heart is starting to beat fast because of just the emotions that season had.
Yeah,
it's all right.
And I feel like I said, it hurt more in the first game, but in this one, as I was getting my screenshots ready, I don't know if people could see these, but I have my screenshots, and I was looking at the last episode and I saw my crying face and I was like, oh no, it's coming.
Oh man.
All right, what was your plan for
the... hop into it. All right, I guess we should just hop into it, go through all the characters individually. So we start off with Clementine, obviously. That was great. Clementine, we all know her. She's the star of the show, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We all love Clemmy Clue.
And I was really surprised at the very first starting of it. We're questioned and poised with the question of who did she find after the ending of Season 1. And it's did she find Krista and Omid, or was it someone else? And we find out ultimately. Yeah.
It was kind of weird how they instantly jumped into that though.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be looking for them, not an entire episode, but I thought it would start us off for having us trying to find them, but no, it just gave us the story right away. And yeah, I'm shocked about that.
It gave it to us right away, but then it taketh away as well.
Yeah, it was so sad.
Yes. No, speaking of that, so what were your initial thoughts when, it kind of gave you that, it presented you with them two having you in their care? What did you think at that moment the story was going to be like until ultimately what happened?
I thought Krista and Omid would play out like as Lee did and be part of the thing for a good chunk of the season, honestly.
Psych!
What? Yeah, exactly. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, it was.
And that character that killed me, I'm so mad about it.
Yeah, literally, that character lasted a total of 10 seconds on the screen and then died with Omid in the same bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, whatever.
I have she came out of nowhere, too.
Yeah, you would think, I don't know. It's just me being who I am. You would think that if you were in care of a young girl, I don't know how old she is, like 9 or something, you would think that, a parent would be like, all right, I'm going to go into the bathroom with you and make sure everything's okay with you. But no, they just left her alone in the bathroom and walked off on their own. But
I guess that's kind of true. Yeah, I feel like that would be a good point because, especially in that day of age when there's tons of walkers roaming the area.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's kind of the parents' fault, but at the same time, it's ugh.
Made me mad.
It did.
You need to.
But yeah.
You need to take care of your kid a little bit more than just letting her roll off on her own.
But they didn't have any kids before that, did they? However, that brings me to the point where I just remembered Crystal's actually pregnant at that time, correct?
Correct, and we never find out what happened.
I wonder if we're gonna find her this season, because remember, we didn't have confirmation if she died.
We never found out if she died. All that we know that happened, at least as far as I can. So for those of you that are watching right now, we actually ended our playthrough of this probably 1 or 2 months ago, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So it's been a little bit, so the memory's a little foggy, especially from the start of the game. But at least from what I can remember is we snuck up, she was out getting firewood or something. And what happened is we walked up and there was this gang surrounding her. And we ultimately either A, got her caught, or B, they just saw us and we ran off. But there was a gunshot that was heard. So we don't know if she got shot, she got away, anything. So, it's up in the air.
Was there a gunshot?
Yeah, there was a gunshot. If you go back and listen to it, in mine, I think I sneaked. I don't know for sure. Wait, I have it right here. Did I try to save Krista?
You went to go.
I ran away. So I ran away. I sneaked away, but ultimately they saw me. And then I think she said Clementine, run or something. And then I heard a gunshot. And then that's the end of what happened with Krista and me. That's the last memory I have of her.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened with your playthrough?
I believe I'm gonna have to pull this up too, actually.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. I have all my choices pulled up here. I'm gonna show my screen just really quick so everyone can see what I mean by that. But yeah, I have all my choices pulled up right here just for reference sake.
Okay. I thought I tried to sneak around, but I guess I did go and try to help Krista.
Okay. So yeah, it's the same outcome either way. There's the gunshot, and it's just okay, what happens? But then after the gunshot, what do you think about the chase that happens?
I mean, Clementine you say, because I don't cuss here, so.
What, is she badass?
You know what I'm thinking? Yeah. Oh yeah, she is. Man.
Didn't she bite off some guy's finger in the thing?
She did.
Yeah, he had her in a chokehold, a double chokehold, and she just snapped down on his fingers. Yeah, she's straight up badass, and
man,
I'm assuming you're gonna bleep out my swears in your video. Is that right?
I won't do that one because but I can't cuss, so.
Yeah, I was really surprised that it put us in such a dire situation so fast. Although we did miss quite a bit of time between, like you said in the beginning, where, you know, she was originally pregnant, then Omid dies, and then somehow we get like zoomed months into the future to where the baby's no longer there, and we're all just on our own in the woods surviving. So we don't know what happened.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I actually. Oh, yeah, that's true. She didn't have the. Oh.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened with the baby. The baby never gets brought up again. You know, we obviously, I don't want to like ask her about the baby, but then again, it's weird because you would think if you're close with someone, you could ask them like some personal questions and you're like, how are you feeling about the baby? But that never gets presented to us.
Well, I feel like the thing with Krista is I think she cared for Clementine, but she didn't, I feel like she didn't want to be there.
Ooh, I have a theory.
I don't think she liked to be put in that position, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, think about it in a way. I just thought about this. Imagine you are excited to have like, oh, you're never going to have a baby. Like you can't hold a baby in your stomach, but you know, imagine a woman has a baby in her stomach.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine you're carrying a baby and then suddenly your friggin' husband dies. And then the only thing tying you to that husband is the baby. And for some reason, the baby dies or gets lost or whatever happens to it.
I'm still so curious how that happened.
Right. I'm very curious, but you know, maybe she had this like thing in the back of her mind with Clementine saying, you know, my baby's not here because of the thing that happened with you. You know what I mean? Maybe she silently blames Clementine for what happened in that bathroom. Or like,
didn't she actually say something that like
I can't remember.
Was kind of. I feel like she said something to Clementine that was like kind of rude.
I think there was like a off comment. I can't remember though. We'll have to go back and look, but you know, if you're watching this and you want to find out for sure, go back and watch some of the episodes. It's
in episode 1 of the season 2. So, yep. But yeah, that was really interesting.
Okay, let's see. Then after that moment, we get swept down the river, and then we're on our own for a little bit, and we meet up with
Okay, can we just talk about how did Clementine, like, I'm glad she didn't, but how did Clementine not die?
The water?
Getting swept down the... Yeah.
I don't know, because she's badass. That's why.
Like, she's so little, though, and like...
Maybe
I guess
why.
She's not that young, but the fact that she didn't freeze to death or drown or something, especially in that really harsh water,
right, is
really weird.
Maybe because the fact that she does weigh so little maybe helped her stay above water and not sink down. I'm just speculating at this point. Maybe that helped out. But then again, because she doesn't weigh so much, you'd think that her shit like hypothermia and like the freezing cold water would hit her faster. But then again, it is a game. So
yeah.
But yeah, she winds up like floating up onto the shore, and then she's alone and scared.
Luckily.
Yeah, luckily she did. And then we meet one of our furry friends, the dog.
What was his name?
Sam, I believe, right?
Sam
the dog. I got a lot of thoughts about Sam the dog.
Yeah. First initial thoughts when I saw him was, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And I thought he was going to be part of the journey, but you know how that ends.
Yes. That it's getting me right now. So I can't handle when animals get hurt in games and or real life. It's just part of my nature. Whenever something gets hurt that I feel like doesn't understand what's going on, it's like, oh no, it's already getting to me right now.
The fact that we had to do it too.
Oh yeah,
it's so much worse.
Well, there is a thing. Let's actually take a look at this. It says, did you kill the dog? And it says 52.5% of players killed the dog on my screen over here. But that also means that 47.5% of people did not either. They left the dog there to just lie down and die.
Ugh.
So,
man,
I don't know. I couldn't do that. Some people can. I chose to because it was.
Wait, how much did it say for you? 52 point what?
Yeah, it said 52.5% of players
Yeah,
did.
same here.
So that means 47.5% of players did not, and they just left the dog there to friggin' suffer. And that makes me so curious as to why. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know their thought process in that, but obviously we can't really.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah.
And okay, so from that point, after we end up...
Wait, hold on. I want to talk about something before we get there.
Okay.
If you could change one thing about how you would have like handled that situation where the dog bit you, do you think there was any way to prevent that?
So you're saying if I could change one thing about how or what happened, right?
Clement, like, yeah. Or like, how do you think you could have if the game gave you more options, how do you think you would have been able to prevent that situation with the dog at the end?
Oh, well, okay, so first off, I have plenty of thoughts about this. So with the dog being so hungry as is, I already know that it's hungry. So instead of me starting digging in right away, right as soon as I open the can, I would have seen the dog and gone, okay, here's part of this. I would have dipped my like hand in, pulled out some food, and then fed it to the dog, or like dropped it on the ground. I wouldn't have gotten the can near the dog whatsoever. I would have just plopped it on the ground and had the dog eat that, and then I could have joined it without the dog digging its face into the can and knocking it over. And
yeah, that's smart.
So what about you? Were you thinking something else or similar?
I was thinking kind of the same thing, except I probably would have ate a little bit first and then I'd give the dog. So kind of the same process, just in a different order.
Different order. Yep, and that's honestly, I think, the way that it would have best been handled. Although
we just didn't get those decisions.
Right, exactly. So with that being as it is, the sad, unfortunate fate of Sam the dog, R.I.P. May he rest in peace. Yeah. We ended up, going off on our own again. I don't think
there would have been any way we could have saved it either. There was no way. It had 3 spikes in him too.
Yeah, there was one through his leg, and then there was one directly through his stomach. So he was bleeding out regardless of the outcome. And I mean, we did go see a doctor, anyways, but there's nothing he could have done.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So after that, we came upon Luke and Nick, right? Or was it Nick?
And Walter? Was it Walter?
Pete.
That's what it was. Yep.
Pete. Yeah.
Luke and Pete were in.
And right before that, I was. Clementine just collapsed on the ground. I was like, Clementine, you can't do this. You gotta keep going. There was walkers all around her too.
There are so many points in this game where me being me, I would have done things differently, but in the moment
you can understand her pain though.
Exactly. And like as I was kind of like about to say, there are things I would have done differently, but in the moment I did what the game, had me do. So, if it were me, I probably wouldn't have gotten down and slept on right by a rock like she did. Mm-hmm. I would have gone and found some cover somewhere just to make sure that I was covered and no lurker or zombie could find me. Just things like that. But overall, we're just gonna basically go off the game and not our own things. But I wanted to just throw that in there,
So yeah, once we come upon Luke and Pete, what were your first initial thoughts of Luke?
First off, I thought they were raiders. I legit, because I was being attacked by a zombie or a walker, and. Well, I didn't think they were out to hurt me, but I thought they were a gang of, people, or I thought they were the gang that hurt Krista. And that's what I thought at the first. I thought they were there and they followed me.
I saw that in your video. Yeah.
And I think
you were talking about that.
Crap. What am I going to do now? And at this point, I thought, okay, they're not going to kill a kid. They're going to bring me back to where Krista is, but then it turned out to be Luke and Pete. And it's like, okay, they're friendly, so let's see where this goes. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I kind of had the opposite reaction. I was like, hey, we got some help. Let's go. We're making it out of here. But I can see your thought process. But I just took it a completely different way. And I'm glad it went that way.
Yeah, I think out of anybody this season, I think Luke was probably the one that was most likely to me. Where he just...
I also really loved Pete, but, you know, we'll get there as well.
Pete was like that caring, like, grandpa figure.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like the one that was like trying to like instill the wisdom and instill like knowledge into you and show you like, oh, here's right from wrong, which in a way Lee did as well, and so did Luke. But he just had that like vibe of, oh, I am a wise wizard. I know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So but yeah, I'd say all in all, when they came and got us and then started bringing us back to the house, my worst fear and worst moment was we didn't know if she had gotten bitten during that point from anything else, but we didn't know about the dogs. So then as soon as they noticed the dog bite, it was all about trying to convince them that that wasn't a zombie bite or a walker bite or a lurker bite. You know what I mean? You had to find...
Okay, let's be honest.
I know.
How does that look like a human bite?
I know. Don't, bros. You don't got to convince me. You got to convince Carlos. And Carlos is an idiot sometimes.
Is a doctor. Yeah.
So then after that, continuing, after they kind of saw that the bite was there, you know, did you think that they were going to just, you know, toss you out after they started like arguing, saying, you know, we don't do this. We don't bring people into the group that have been bitten. What were your thoughts on that initial confrontation?
Well, let's backtrack a bit before we get there. When they first saw the bite, I was like, I thought it was funny how Pete was the one to like actually give it a look and look at the bite. I thought Luke would be the one to do that.
Oh yeah, that's what I was referencing when you know, Luke was like, yo, we don't bring people into the group with bites, you know what happened last time. And then Pete would just suddenly goes, hey, hold your horses now, let me take a look. And then he looks Clementine dead in the eyes and he said, were you bitten? And then you get your chance to say, like, you know, prove yourself.
Yes.
Like no. And you look him straight in the eyes and he goes, okay then.
I'm going through my video right now and I just got to this part where after I think it was after you say yes, Clementine says yes. I'm pretty sure Luke gave her that nasty look like,
yeah, he's
how
like,
do you know we're not lying? And then I zoomed in on her face here. Clementine's like, what are you talking about?
I'll throw it up on the screen.
I'll send you a picture real quick. It was really funny.
Let's see, I'm looking at it right now. Like, hard to say. Could be a dog. Is it? And I need to say,
look at that.
All right, Clementine, that's good enough for me. And then the face.
Yeah, that was pretty
that, like,
funny.
Death stare, like, Pete, stop being an idiot. Come on now. This girl's bitten, obviously. Let's just leave her to die and rot with the bugs.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Ultimately, though, they end up trusting us and they bring us back to the group where good old Carlos is, where Rebecca is, Nick, everyone.
Oh yeah, right before we got there, she sees the house and then doesn't she pass out?
I think so.
I think she did.
Or I think she defends herself, right? And then she is like, okay.
Yeah, but right before that, we can see the house. We're heading down to the house, and then right as soon as you get over that little, like,
yes, you're right. She goes, I'm fine to walk, and then she drops, right?
And then I was like, Clementine, this might be a zombie. No.
Ooh, a zombie Clem.
Zombie Clem.
Now that would be a twist.
We actually did get a reference to that in season 1 in the camper. Lee was having a bad dream. Remember that?
Yes, we did.
Foreshadowing something. Oh no.
Yo, I'm excited to see what season 3 brings. I really am. I really hope that Oh, go ahead.
I know one thing about it is that the graphics are like entirely different, I believe.
They are?
Everything looks... I think they are, yeah.
Oh, I believe
it
you
looks
have
a
the
lot more
definitive edition
realistic.
and I have the regular, so it will be interesting to see if they are that different, how different they are between our two versions.
Because I did look at the trailer for season 3.
Yeah.
Just to like give me a idea of like what I should be excited for and looking forward to. And it looks like the graphics are going to be like a lot different.
Oh, I haven't even seen the trailer for 3. I kind of wanted to keep it a secret and then be in suspense. I don't know much about it at
I'm
all.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. As long as like there's no story spoilers at all, I'm fine with knowing the graphics are different.
Yeah. And then as we're waking up, we can obviously see Luke. He's just swinging around the gun like it's nothing.
Do you mean Nick?
Nick. They keep confusing me.
Boy, oh boy, do I have some thoughts about Nick.
I don't like Nick very much.
Nick
he meant well, but in the end, he just...
Nick made me so mad so many times.
Like Luke was saying towards the end of the game, how he was saying how Kenny's broken. I feel like Nick was kind of that guy.
Yes.
He was broken throughout the whole thing.
That was the reason why they didn't want to bring me in, was because somebody in the group got bitten and then they bit Nick's mom, right? I believe that's what happened and why he was so torn up. So
that's right.
He was already on edge, and then everything that happened after that. I mean, in a way, I understand it. You know, people have trauma. They have things that happen to them that shake them up. But other than that, and like, I'm not other than that, but like in a world where you have to survive zombies are everywhere, you kind of have to adapt and learn different traits. Like, you know, you can't just randomly have your finger on a gun trigger pointed at the ground. You have to take your finger off, make sure there's no sound, because otherwise there's going to be zombies coming your way. And it's like,
which is the unfortunate side of it, but that's just what you have to do in that situation, unfortunately.
So then Nick accidentally fires the gun as soon as you wake up.
Exactly.
And then, what was your thoughts as soon as he did that?
Well, I was about to run, but then I think I was about to run because gonna be honest, I didn't want to be stuck with a man like that. But there was Ben from season 1. Ben was pretty much Nick.
Ben reminded me of Nick, a lot.
Yeah.
And I hate to put a label on somebody, I really do, but he was the guy that ended up causing a lot of the problems for the group. And
Ben, right?
Ben did, and Nick at the same time. You know, Ben, God fucking Ben.
I don't know how bad Ben's or Nick screwed up. Ben, I feel like Ben was a lot worse.
Okay, so just a little throwback for those that watched season 1. Do you remember when they were in that church area and then that Lee had put the hammer in the door, in between the door handles so the zombies couldn't get through? And then they're like, how can we open this door over here? And then Ben's like, we could use this, and holds out the hammer that was locking the door. And everyone's just like, Ben, you fucking moron.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine.
I was so like, excuse me?
Oh man, even Clementine was like, excuse me, Ben?
Oh, Ben. Yeah, but then...
I don't know how to explain. That's the mind of my brother.
Is it?
Yes.
Your brother's gonna watch this podcast sometime, and he's gonna be like, you're gonna be sleeping, he's gonna go and choke you with a pillow.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So Nick ends up shooting, and then everyone's all pissed at Nick, saying, you know, get your finger off the trigger, and all this stuff, which ends up bringing in zombies towards the house. Speaking of that,
exactly what you said right there. That's exactly what Pete said. He's like, get your finger off the trigger, boy.
Oh, he did? Oh. You know, well, that's what you would say to him. It's like, come on now.
Exactly.
And then we get to meet Carlos. Carlos, the professional medical doctor with 4 PhDs and a doctorate in, medical analysis and learning how to tell if there's a dog bite versus a lurker bite. So he gets diagnosed, or he has to diagnose you to make sure you're okay. And he looks at the dog bite and says, I don't know if human teeth or dog teeth could have caused this, but just to be safe, we'll throw her in the shed where she'll bleed out.
And then Clementine, being the
little ninja.
The little ninja she is, she turns into like this Super Saiyan monster, and she kicks out the plank, crawls through under the house, and then she grabs all the meds and stitches herself up.
That was so up until that point in the game, I hadn't seen something so painfully painstaking. So there
was that thing with Lee where you cut off his arm.
Well, you sawed it off, yeah, but that's it's weird because it's two different pain thresholds. One where it's like a giant pain, that would really hurt, like sawing off your own arm. Most people don't know what that feels like, but don't want to. Then there's the pain of like sticking a really thin needle through your arm multiple times over and over and over, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I mean, that's not what that is pretty bad.
Gosh, and then it's just like a fast pain versus a slow pain. Because the slow pain, you'd have to, finger it in there and then pull it through and then do it again and again and again. Where the other one is just a few saws and you're good to go. But I digress.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. And then, okay, Carlos, I liked him, but he wasn't smart.
No, Carlos.
He was dumb at times.
Obviously, me and you and everyone on the other face of the planet would be able to tell that was a dog bite, not a teeth bite. But Carlos,
even me,
no. Even anyone would be like, oh, hey, look at that bite. Oh my gosh, it looks thrashed. It looks like not in the shape of human teeth. Well, let's just be sure and not vote on it now, but
just go throw her into the shed for 24 hours.
Throw into the shed. No food or water, no bandages, nothing to even Yeah,
she could have at least. I mean, I somewhat get their logic.
Yes.
It's because oh, well, we don't want to waste food and water and supplies on someone that could die in the morning. It's everything that leads up to that. The one thing that leading up to that being the decision if it's a dog bite or a walker bite. That's the one thing that makes me mad.
It's literally the easiest decision in the world, and they end up making the wrong one. So yeah, but then Clementine's little ninja gets the supplies herself, and then she says the iconic line, "Still not bitten," and that is one of my favorite lines of the game. Did you say that, or did you say something else? Remember?
I don't remember.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It would be in episode 3.
3?
So if we're on the same time frame.
Oh, I think I did that.
Let's take a look here. Yep. Okay. So it's at around the 16.5 minute mark for me, where we'll be able to. I'm just going to go and turn down my quality quick.
No, for me, it's a bit longer.
Let's see. There it is, 17:53. That's where I say it. So do you remember if you said the iconic line or no?
Oh, no. I said, can I please come inside now? Can I please come inside now?
Yeah, that still not bitten thing is apparently it's a really big saying. So, people say it all over.
Luckily, you said it, but...
Yeah. So, they don't say, can I please go inside?
You actually had that as your outro, right?
Yeah, so...
keep moving, or... I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was keep moving forward and stay still not bitten.
Stay still not, Yep,
that's what, I can't think of her name right now. Clementine's voice actress, that's what she said for me.
Oh, yeah.
Which was very nice of her. Hopefully we can get something maybe for you in the future if you still want that. I can maybe work my magic a little bit. That was really great. Cool is getting a thing for Lee and getting his voice at the end. That would be pretty dope. So maybe that could be your thing. I'll have Clems, you could have Lee's.
I'm sure he's probably still alive. I just don't know how long.
David Fennoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's alive. He's alive.
Okay. I don't know
You just
who
randomly
these
think people are
are.
dead.
I don't know. In the middle of a zombie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm gonna like my video. But at the end of that, after we come inside, then we get to meet everybody. And let's see, I'm kind of like zooming right through. Okay, Carlos is looking at the hand, and then we get to have a little intimate chat with Luke, where we kind of tell him our life story up to that point. And at that moment, you get to decide whether you want to tell him about Lee, or you want to keep it a secret. And I think we both did the same thing. We told him about Lee, right?
I think that, yeah, I got it perfectly at that part where I told him about Lee. And I think that was the right decision, because I kind of felt at that moment, once they let us come inside, I kind of felt like, yeah, I think we're probably going to be camping out with these people for a little while.
Right.
So I thought it was best to let them know our story, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and he just seemed so
understanding,
caring. Yeah, and vulnerable. Like he wanted to know your story, and he wasn't going to use it to hurt us in any way, which he didn't. And I'm also salty about what happened to Luke in the future. I'm very salty about that, because he was one of my favorite characters, and I think he was one of yours as well. But we're just referencing now, it was just like a moment of vulnerability between you and Luke, and it was a really nice thing. But then friggin' Rebecca comes in.
I was just about to say that. Can we backtrack on how Rebecca said all that? Like, even when we first met her, she's like, we can't trust this little girl. This little girl, she'd probably have a nuclear apocalypse on the way or something.
This girl, we can't trust her. We're not bringing nobody in. And then you get that one-on-one with her in the room, and she's like, you can't stay here. Like, lady, excuse me. And at that point, we knew that she was all worried about the baby not being what's his name? I can't think of his name. Alvin, yes. And
there you go.
Yeah, and she's like, I hope it's his, and blah blah blah. And we could have used that against her, but I don't think neither of us did. That was actually
a bit. That was when we were finding the meds, right?
Yes, we were finding the meds, and we hid in the cabinet or whatever.
Something I learned there is that it was after but I was pre-recording something because I had to re-record it again.
Right.
And after I was doing that, there was a few decisions I could have chose. I obviously went with the one I did, but then after I re-recorded that, I went onto YouTube and looked at the all choices. There's a series of a lot of people that do all choices. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah, they just do a roll of each choice, to, showing what it does, right? Yeah.
And you can actually end up, instead of getting help from Sarah finding the meds, you can actually get help from Alvin there.
What?
Yeah.
How? Okay, explain that quick. I want to know.
When you're walking, because there's that hole under the house, right?
Right.
There's that where I'm pretty sure that's most people how they got in. But there was one way where you could actually walk on the porch, knock on the window where Alvin's sitting, and ask for help from him.
And he helps you?
Yeah. He's like, all right, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but I believe you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that, because I love Alvin.
Yeah.
Alvin was probably one of my favorite characters.
Does Alvin just go and grab all of the things for you and bring it back?
He gives you a juice box, I think.
Oh. Thank you, Alvin, for being helpful.
And I think he gave you bandages as well. He might have gave you 2 items that you needed, as well as a juice box.
Okay, and then you still probably needed to go into the bathroom to get the medicine, right? Or no?
I don't think so. I think the one thing he didn't give you was the bandages.
Okay.
Which it was in the Carlos's room.
In Carlos's room. Interesting. Okay, so some people didn't get to hear the thing that Rebecca said, so that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So then, obviously you go and pat yourself up, and then you say whatever to the group, and they bring you inside, and blah blah blah. And then after your chat with Rebecca, I believe the night ends, and you go waking up the next morning
with Pete and Nick, right?
Yes, you go with Pete and
Is it
Nick? Pete? Yeah, it's Nick. I was thinking Luke for a second, but no, it was Pete and Nick.
Yeah, Luke was. Yeah, Luke stayed at the house.
That's also when you get the story from Pete about when they went hunting together, right? When Pete
and that's all. Isn't that when Pete tells you the story of Nick as well? I think.
Yeah, that's the story of when they went hunting together or whatever, and then that's what causes Nick to kind of go off and get mad and walk ahead of us, right? And that's when he finds everybody there, and when we were talking with Pete, and then he's like, guys, come take a look at this, and we come up there, and everything is kind of just in ruins. There's people dead, and there's things shot everywhere, and at that moment...
I think a great word to describe that position would be eerie.
Very, very. That's
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's a great description.
It was like a very eerie vibe, honestly. It was really weird.
Who did you think that was when you walked up there?
Like, what do you mean?
When you walked and saw, who did you think did all that?
I thought it was the people that did that to Krista.
And you would have been right.
Wrong.
But
no.
Yes, or you would have been right, but also wrong at the same time. Because remember, we went out to the guy and saw that it was the guy
He was there.
He was there, so they were there, but it also wasn't, and we didn't know who it was at the time.
I don't think they did that. I think they were just walking through there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, we know who that group was, but we didn't know who did that to them. That's what I'm trying to get off.
Yeah.
So we didn't know at the time, but we knew now. At the moment when you saw who it was, what did you think?
Well, I was at first when I first saw him, I couldn't tell who he was. I knew he looked familiar, but then that brings me to the question. I think, hang on, this was the guy with Krista, right? This was the guy. I need to go back and look at that. 1 second.
And try to find that on my playthrough.
That looks like one of the people that was in the cancer survivor group too.
Oh,
wasn't that? I feel like that was one of them.
One can't. Take a look. I'm looking on Google quick right now.
I could be wrong about
part
that.
Of Vernon's group or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Let's go here. I'm taking a look. And as far as I can tell, I can't see anyone that looks like that. There's this guy. I don't know if... Here, I'm going to send it to you in DMs really quick. This guy is one of them. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I took the simulators and put them there, but...
Here, let's...
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yes, there looks like there is no man with dreadlocks there. So, yeah, as far as I know, there is no cancer man on the ground in front of Clem.
That would have been really interesting.
Yes, and you would think that they would remember you, but then again, you're just a kid, so who knows?
But then also remember that they turned on you and took the boat.
You're right.
Remember? Yeah.
You're right. And oh man, okay. That brings up some painful memories too, because that's what made Kenny go friggin' berserk. Remember that?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That was a bad moment. But either way, at that point in time, we see the guy with the dreadlocks. He's asking for water. You can either give him some or don't. I don't remember what I did or you did, but it doesn't really matter.
I did give him water because
I
thought he was going to. I gave him water because I wanted to hear what he had.
Right.
I gave him water. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
But we don't hear what happens because suddenly we get a scream from Pete, who is bitten on his leg.
That hurts. That hurts.
Pete ends up getting bitten, and it's one of those moments where you go...
Where you have to decide.
Your heart sinks a little bit, you know?
Well, yeah.
And you're like, oh no, what do we do in the situation? And I helped Pete. I think you did too, right?
No, I helped Nick, and the reason I helped Nick is because I personally, when I saw, like, I'm gonna be honest, I loved Pete a lot more than Nick.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't choose Pete was because he was bitten and I thought he would die. Like,
oh,
I didn't think he would last that long, but clearly, and because I was thinking, oh well, I'd rather have one alive than both of them dead, because I thought if I went over to save Pete, then Nick would get killed. Clearly that didn't happen, and that makes me mad that I did that decision. Yeah.
I wonder if there's any way to save Pete. I really wonder. I don't know if there is.
I don't think there was. He just got too sick at the time.
Yeah, and so you went with Nick, and then... Okay, well, so what happened again? So you went with Nick, and then what happened there? Did you go with Nick somewhere, or did you go with Pete?
What do you mean?
Like, did you get a chance to go back to Pete, or did you just go with Nick? Oh, you just went with Nick?
I was stuck in Nick with it was like a cellar with a ton of beer jars.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And then I went with Pete, and we were stuck in
this like trailer thing.
This like carnival trailer looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where a majority of our playthroughs started to split. And this is kind of the interesting part, because we get to talk about our individual experiences, and then we can relate them to what happened on the other end. So starting off with you and Nick, go ahead and explain what happened, and then we can kind of go over that quick.
Are you talking about like explain what happened with...
I actually think this is the end of episode 1. So
it is.
Gotcha. So essentially, yeah, to round it up, Pete got bit, and then we had to kind of decide, go help Pete or go help Nick. I helped Pete, and Bros helped Nick, but he also just stated that he wished he would have wanted to help Pete.
Yeah. Because after I saw that outcome, I was like, well, that's kind of dumb that Nick didn't die.
Oh, geez.
Well, not really, but like, I kind of regretted picking Nick after I saw that he would have survived either way.
You're just like,
you get what I'm trying to say,
yeah,
right?
I get it exactly. You're just like, oh,
I'm not
man.
mad that he didn't die, but it's like, well, that was a waste of a good choice.
Waste of a good choice. But then again, it was the choice that you made in the moment, so it's like what you would have done in the moment too, because you don't get to retry, and like you don't get to choose again what happens. Yeah. It's like a one-time thing for your story, and that's what I love about the game, is it allows you to do that. But you can go back after and play again, but then again, it's not like
yeah. So I think we should, because we chose different things, I feel like we should go over what happens.
Sure. Okay. Yep. You go ahead with Nick first.
Okay. So pretty much once we got into after I went over and I was like, all right, Nick, I'm choosing you, buddy. We got to get out of here. He was like, why didn't you save him? I would have been fine. And I'm like, okay, I just saved your butt. Now you're screaming at me. And that's where the decision ends, or the episode ends. It goes all black, and then we don't start until the next episode. So, should we go and then talk about the next episode yet, or? Let's see here. I'll go to see where my ending goes. I think I want to go over and show all my choices. Let's go. Even though we've been describing them, just give a quick summary.
Right. So then on my ending, I went with Pete, and just the ending of the episode, we see Clementine and Pete running off, and then in the just to kind of go into the next segment of the podcast. Me and Peter in the little carnival trailer, and he's basically saying, it's pretty much over for me. I can't really do much anymore. And then I'm telling him, stop, no, don't give up. And then ultimately we try to get away, but then that's where things turn for the worst for Pete.
Right.
All right, yeah, let's hop into our choices that we made. And I'm going to go ahead and full screen.
I just switched screens.
Let me go in there.
So, yes. The first one is actually, did you try to save Krista?
Hold on.
We both.
Oh, go ahead.
Have yours up?
Yep, I got mine up.
Okay. You said you snuck around, right?
Did you try to save Krista? I ran away. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I snuck away.
I don't remember stopping to help Krista, but I guess I did.
I think what it means when that happened, or what it says you tried to save her, is like you said like, hey, and you distracted them, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I think the save, quote unquote,
and
means.
I did that because I thought, because I'm smaller, I can probably get a run faster and stuff, sneak around, get in smaller places.
And you don't think people are going to hurt a kid, do you? You know, that's just something you don't think they're going to do.
But clearly we were wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I chose that because I thought I'd be able to help Krista. Clearly it didn't turn out that much better, but... And then why did you try to sneak around?
I wanted to be sneaky, or like, so she was saying, I guess what was going through my mind is she was like saying, I'm the only one out here, no one's with me, and I was going to be like, okay, she's got this under control. I'm going to try to sneak back to the camp and like grab our supplies so they don't find our stuff. And obviously that didn't work either. So that's my thought process on that little adventure, and hopefully we get to see Krista again. That would be really nice.
Right. And then the second decision is, Mercy, did you kill the dog? We both killed the dog because we wanted to put it out of its misery.
Yep.
And I couldn't let it sit there and suffer for a while.
Nope.
That would have been too hard.
That's too hard. I couldn't do it. The dog was hurting, and I had to just, end its suffering, as you said.
Oh, okay. We actually didn't go over this next one. Trust. Did you accept Nick's apology? We didn't go over this one, but I feel like it's
pretty unanimous. Same thing, right?
Yeah. However, I'm kind of surprised that, because for me it was 50-50 pretty much. I'm surprised that almost 50% said no.
Yeah.
And didn't accept it.
Yeah, all Nick did was like, wait, what? Nick just barely shot her, I guess, right? Is that what? It's a slippery slope because I mean,
I guess it makes sense because it's like, no, you need to be more careful. You cannot be doing that in this day and age.
Right.
But I kind of went easy on him and said, it's all good. Just try not to do it again.
Right.
However, I feel like if I would have gone back, I feel like I may have said, oh no, you like been more strict with them.
A little bit more stern, like, hey, don't do this in the future, mister.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Did you give water to the dying man? And me and you both did.
We both did because we wanted to hear why, or
gotta get more information.
Yeah, we wanted to know what happened to Krista, and then suddenly Pete got picked. So
yeah, it sucks.
That's pretty annoying. And then we obviously just went over how or who we saved.
Interesting though that 40% went with Nick and 60% went with Pete. I'm rounding up the numbers. I'm not saying the exact, but it's interesting why, in your situation that you explained, I totally understand it. You wanted to go and you thought Pete was dead. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But it's interesting so many people went with Pete. One of the reasons why I went with Pete, I think at the moment, Nick had the hunting rifle, and I don't remember what Pete had. I don't remember if Pete had a gun or not. Do you remember? I can pull it up here. Let's just take a look. Let's zoom back really quick and go here. Let's just take a look. 1080p. Let's zoom back quick and take a look.
He had a sniper, I think.
A sniper.
No, I guess it was like a hunting rifle. Yeah.
Pete had one too?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I remember. It's during that choice. Right there. He said, I'm out of ammo, but Nick still had ammo. And that's why I chose to go with Pete, is because I could help him while Nick had ammo. I remember that now. It was legitimately... Yeah, I'm watching these subtitles right now. So then they say, shit, lurkers. And then Pete says, I'm out of ammo. And that's why I was like, oh crap, Pete needs my help. That's what I went over there for.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that is the end of episode 1 of The Walking Dead Season 2. And we're going to be doing pretty much a podcast for each episode, 1 through 5. And, obviously we're going to get better at it as we go and kind of be more organized.
What?
What happened?
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Okay.
What happened?
I'm thinking of something else. I was looking at it wrong. Okay, never mind.
You were looking at what wrong?
I thought we started our episode 4 at different places, but we didn't.
I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that a little bit.
We didn't. We did it right.
We did it right. Okay. But yeah, that's we're gonna do this is part 1 of 5 because there's 5 episodes, and we're gonna be kind of going over pretty much generally each episode and the choices we made. And I believe episode 2 is going to be really interesting because that's when me and Bros had a lot of differing choices that caused a lot of differing outcomes. With that being said, any final thoughts you got on your end over there?
I don't think so. I think that should wrap it up.
Perfect. All right. I want to say thank you everyone for joining us for the Walking Dead Season 2 podcast featuring me and Bros.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. And then Bros is going to do a short outro on his end shortly after this as well. But yeah, thanks very much guys for joining in, and we'll catch you on episode 2.
Bye.
And you're good to go on your outro now if you want to.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed. This is, again, what Mitch said, part 1 out of 5 of the Walking Dead podcast. And yeah, we are going to be doing 4 more of these, covering the next 4 episodes of, obviously, Season 2. And then after we get through with these, we are going to be doing Season 3. We're going to be starting that up, and I'm very, very excited to hop into that, see what Season 3 has in store.
Oh yeah.
See if I was right about if it's going to be repetitive at all, because I'm surprised how they didn't make it that, like, they did it pretty differently and like branched off of it pretty well in Season 2. So I'm very excited for Season 3 to start. I cannot wait, as is Mitch, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
We
I'm excited.
are going to end it here. I'm very, very... Wait, no. What am I thinking? Can't talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!
See you later.
I'm so glad you're enjoying the series so far, but don't forget to subscribe to my friend Virtual Party Center. Also remember to keep moving forward and stay still, not bitten.